Heyo guys, I'm the Neminator and I'm back with another review, this time on the Figma Lucina from Fire Emblem Awakening figure. And this is another exciting one because it's yet another figure going into the Smash Brothers display. And for context, for the last few videos I've been referencing a Smash Brothers display that I want to make. I'm trying to get a 6-inch scale Smash Brothers display going, mostly consistent of the Figmas of a lot of these characters. So we've got the SH Figure Arts Mario, we've got the Figma Inkling figure, specifically of Woomy, and now we're taking a look at Lucina. And already she is looking really cool in the packaging. So to take a look at the rest of the box, here's the right side, the left side, the back side with some promotional photos, there's the bottom, there's the top, and yeah, enough of that, let's get this thing open. And here is Lucina out of her packaging, and I gotta say, so far, this is a better looking figure than a posable one. Just visually speaking, she looks fantastic. Got a lot of sculpted detail and very, very good paint apps on the figure all throughout. You know, you've got a lot of sculpting on the boots here, and just look at the sculpted detail on like the little accessories here. It all looks very, very nice. Very shiny on the armor plating. Some good shine going on in her hair and on and they actually put shiny gold paint here on the hairband. But yeah, even like on the sheath of the sword, there's just a lot of sculpted detail and a lot of really good paint applications. It's just really, really nice looking to me. No detail on the bottom of her boots. Paint details on the inside of the cape, which by the way is articulated. Honestly, I'd say that they rendered her face really nicely on this figure. It looks very, very good. And as for some accessories, because all Figmas have accessories, you've got a happy face Lucina. And they did something interesting with the falchion? Let me know in the comments how that's pronounced. But yeah, her falchion sword is beautiful looking, but it's only for being held. It doesn't go into the sheath there. They actually included this piece, which goes into the sheath, which is not completely hollowed out. Which, I mean, is fine. Honestly, I think I would just have her holding the sword, because that makes sense since it's, you know, Lucina. Of course, we have a Figma stand, extra hand joint, bunch of hand accessories, and this piece is very interesting. It's her short hair with her mask for when she dons the name Marth. Now, you never see this in Smash Brothers, so I'll likely never use this with the figure, but this is really cool. And yeah, I put the alternative face on there just to see how that would look, and it is not too shabby at all. Fits quite nicely, but if this is how you prefer her, with the short hair and the mariachi mask... Is that a mariachi mask? It's not a mariachi mask. The word I was looking for is masquerade mask. But yeah, if this is how you prefer Lucina to look, you have that option, and it looks very, very cool. And I almost forgot, she does come with a Ziploc bag. And right here is probably the hardest part of the review, because the articulation on Lucina is really not great, especially when compared to other Figmas. Arm will not go out terribly far, gets hindered by the scarf here, cannot full 360. Now granted, this can probably be mitigated with the short hair version, but again, I don't want to display her that way. Can't even go back very far, which is unfortunate. Elbow bends at barely over 90 degrees. The wrists will swivel, and they will hinge up and down. Forgot to mention that the elbow will swivel as well. You can get some side-to-side movement out of the head, and she cannot look up at all. She can look down barely, and she won't turn full 360. As I said, the cape parts are articulated. You can separate them if you wanted to, though I'm not sure why you would. They will raise quite a bit. Looks very nice though. And there's a joint under there for if you want to plug her into the stand. Torso will turn just a small amount, really not very much at all. And there is zero crunching. Actually no, there's a very minimal amount of crunching. It's there, but it's pretty negligible. Legs are a saving grace though. They will kick out very, very far, and kick back also very, very far. Single jointed knee that bends at a little over 90 degrees. Thigh swivel. Feet will go up and down. They will turn left and right. And it's one of those interesting joints on the balls of the feet that gives it very good ankle pivot. One thing I decided to check is whether or not you can take the cape off. You can indeed. And honestly, she doesn't look too great without it, but it gives her head a lot more mobility in terms of articulation. Look up much farther, look down farther. Can almost fold 360 with the head. Another thing I need to make note of is the cape is actually very loose if not pegged into her backside. There's a clear peg that goes right here if you're not using the stand. Tried to get her into a sort of jumping pose with, I would say, results. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I just can't get a groove for her articulation. It's hard to get her to look dynamic, which I mean, it can't be impossible. I mean, look at the photos. Whoops. I mean, it can't be impossible. Look at the photos that they have. I mean, then again, this could be a prototype with better articulation, but I don't think that's the case. Anyway, overall, I actually do like this figure. I don't want to knock it too much, even in spite of the articulation, because it is the kind of figure that is meant to be displayed, not played with. And honestly, even though her articulation is beneath that of a typical Figma, I would say it's good enough that she still will display really well in your collection. Because barring anything else, she looks very game accurate, and honestly, I want to have her in the Smash Brothers diorama. Not to mention that until Corrin comes out, I think she might be one of the only Fire Emblem figures like this that you can get your hands on. Which begs the question, by the way, Nintendo, Goodsmile, guys, where's the Marth Figma? Matter of fact, while we're on the subject, where the heck is the Captain Falcon Figma? Now that's a Figma I will get day one. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. This figure was $60. It was actually given to me as a gift in a time when I couldn't afford it. And I would say if you can get her for around that much or less, I'd say she's worth it for your display. Again, she looks really, really good. I can't emphasize how good she looks. It doesn't feel great to pose her, but visually, it's a marvel to look at this figure. So honestly, I'm going to give her a recommendation. I think she is a good Figma, and I don't think that she's a bad addition to your collection at all. Anyway, guys, that is enough out of me. Please let me know what you thought of this review in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like and subscribe. Maybe ring the bell and you'll get notified of other stuff I make in the future. And of course, you can follow me on social media at TheNeminator on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for all updates on my art and figures and videos as well as everything else. Anyway, that's enough out of me. Till next time, you guys. See ya!